Welcome to the Broken Sun. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Arp, your guide here on Stories of a Broken Sun. I am the friendly guide of this podcast. We're in Season 2, Specters of a Broken Sun, and we've made our way out into space, where a mystery awaits our intrepid crew of heroic adventurers. Today, I am joined by those self-same adventurers. I'll just go around and introduce everybody. We're joined by Michael Blood.
Howdy, everyone. It's me, Mike Blood, they, them. Tonight, again, as always, I'll be playing Emran Pak, he, him. And hopefully, with my new friend Eli Vok having a Tier 4 Cyber Eye, we'll all be able to come together in friendship and solve the bomb threat.
I have my fingers crossed for you, of course, as a fan of the players. And the next player, of whom I am a fan, is Velvet.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am Velvet Fair, playing Maeve Sentis, she, her, just eating stuff in space, making Kerrigan proud.
I am sure Kerrigan looks upon you from their digital realm with encouragement and appreciation. And a person I appreciate is here as well. That's Trudy.
Hi there. I'm Trudy. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Zora, she, her, who is real good at smashing things.
That she is. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's fine. I had nothing else to contribute.
All right, and speaking of wonderful contributions, we're finally joined by Keekers.
Hi everyone, it's me Keekers, also known as Be a Space Cat. Today I'm playing Keva Jarma, she, her. I'm also she, her, and I hope I contribute fruitfully today.
We all do indeed. Now, when last we left off, we were in the midst of a magical mystery aboard the fleet, or in and amongst the Hygean splinter fleet that has come to negotiate with you. What you found was that, well, you first learned that there was an issue when Weapon Table went missing from the Express. MP came to alert you of that and that they had an emergency shutdown. And he brought you back there to the Express, where you found there was a ruined scrib device keeping the ramp of the Express open. You were able to fix that and hack into it a little bit, enough to get a username, which brought you to El Coco, a ship of bounty hunters captained by Calvazario in the fleet. Aboard that ship, they attempted to kill you when you rendezvoused with them, but you were able to take over the ship with surprisingly no casualties, and you learned several things from them. You learned that Call wasn't there, but Call had previously been there with an erstwhile cataphract, a Centauran, who you then learned was the captain of the guard aboard Jellyfish Junction. Also there, you learned that they had been hired by somebody, we don't know who, to seed the fleet, this section of the fleet, with bombs, which were of the same construction as the ones that the Sunbreakers used to blow up the statue of Governor de Winton back aboard the Sun. So it seems like maybe they were trying to frame you for this destructive act in the fleet, thus throwing a monkey wrench into our negotiations here with the Hygeans. Okay, so you have returned to the fleet, and the contacts you have on the fleet, Baxel Gray and Looming Evenfall, Dangerous Midnight, are in the midst of making sure that tracking down as many of those bombs as they can. Of course, that's going to be difficult for them to do in time because there are a lot of bombs and they are all on timers. So there's that clock ticking down as well. In addition, when we're talking troublesome clocks, Bitter Awakening, a headstrong, shall we say, Centauran warrior from the Enduring Loop, has launched his own quote-unquote investigation into the matter, and he is very bad at it. So Mandukai is tailing him, trying to keep him from mucking up all the crime scenes too much. Fingers crossed, but we are at 3 out of 8 on Bitter Awakening's quote-unquote investigation clock, where he is messing things up for you the more that clock fills. So you are back on Jellyfish Junction. You towed El Coco here with the Express and some fancy flying, and you've been welcomed back. There's a lot of activity happening here. What do we do now that we're back in the hangar bay?
Well, I want to say something important in that it took a little bit of time, but I figured out exactly what or which detective novel or, mystery novel character Bitter Awakening is.
Yeah?
He is John Harrison from, I think, John. Am I getting it confused?
I don't know, because I don't know who that is.
Well, he's Perot's friend named John, who is kind of a dunce compared to Perot and is more action instead of thinking it through.
Right.
And Mike is...
Hastings.
Yeah, thank you so much. John Hastings. Getting my Johns confused by last names here.
How many detectives have John sidekicks then?
So many. All of them.
Well, I think part of it is just because it's a common name, but I like Hastings that it's from his point of view and that he's different from Watson because, you sympathize more with Watson, but John Hastings is more like, oh my gosh, Hastings! Ah!
Don't be so hasty.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's happening here in the hangar bay for you?
We want to, I think, first and foremost, check up on the progress of tracking the bombs. I guess if we could give them the chemical signature, I don't know how they would find them.
Well, they've got the information you furnished them from the crew of El Coco.
Okay, perfect. I guess we get the crew of El Coco for the meantime imprisoned, I guess, just for their own safety, perhaps, and our own. And then we need to, with Mandakai handling Bitter Awakening, I think we need to focus on finding erstwhile Cataphract and Call Visario.
Okay. You also have some of the components of the bombs that had not yet been fully assembled that you got from El Coco. So that's something you could maybe leverage as you are searching for erstwhile Cataphract. Now, as an officer aboard the ship, there is a high likelihood that erstwhile Cataphract is registered in some way with the systems, and you might be able to track him through the ship that way.
Okay. I don't know that would occur to Emran. Probably not.
I did have a thought again, like Keva says. I think Weapon Table must have fought Call and took their scrib and left it for us.
Maybe. Or Call was in a hurry to get the ship stuck open. I'm not sure. But I don't think that Weapon Table is doing anything malicious right now.
I don't think that Weapon Table probably, left. Maybe he went after them because he knew that they were doing something wrong.
It's possible. I mean, despite our best work, he's still a cop.
Have I seen the Centurions use electronic panels and stuff like that?
Yeah, they've got panels and interfaces and such. They look different from what you're used to, but an interface is an interface.
Okay. I thought that the ship was more organic than mechanical. So I think I will suggest that we could track. I'm not sure how tuned into erstwhile Cataphract is to the system, but he has to have some kind of credentials or keys that allow him to get to the more restricted spaces. Perhaps one of us could track him that way.
Okay.
Oh, like on Hub when we needed the mechanical clearance.
Right, exactly.
I could always ask the ship if it's alive.
Why don't you try tapping in like you do?
You guys, everyone think that's okay if I do that?
You could also ask someone who works on this ship to just type it in, or
No, why would we do that?
I don't want to dictate.
This is our way.
We're doing it our way.
How it works. It's fine. If that's how this goes, we'll roll with it.
I think what happens is Keva's like, we should ask someone first if I can do that.
Probably a good idea not to stick your hair into the ship.
Well, without permission.
Yeah, that's.
Dangerous Midnight is here.
Oh, cool. Dangerous Midnight.
Yeah, Z is here in the hangar bay. Z greeted you when you arrived.
Am I allowed to connect to the ship to look for that person? Erstwhile Cataphract?
Dangerous Midnight looks up from their scrib, which Z is typing on, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm just finishing up. I had to get their full name, so let's see. I'm just typing in here erstwhile Cataphract. gazing through the horizon, settled in his grief. Okay. Now it looks like he's been back on the ship, in and out. Whoa, that's interesting. Huh. Okay. So it says here that he left the ship with Eli Vok and then came back again with Eli Vok earlier today.
I call Eli Vok.
Hey, what's up?
You hanging out with erstwhile Cataphrag?
What the hell is that?
You hang out with a Centauran who runs security on the ship?
Emran, do you think that I would ever willingly hang out with a cop?
What if you didn't know he was a cop?
Okay, well, I have not hung out with any Centauran security guards. Also, I have been here all day.
Do you know if your ship has left?
He checks something. You hear some beeping and booping. Hasn't been anywhere that I've seen.
It's weird. Dangerous Midnight has your credentials pinging with this erstwhile Cataphrag that we're looking for. He's been working with Kal, and your credentials are coming up, leaving the ship and then coming back earlier today.
Son of a gun. Somebody's hacked me. All right, hang on. I got it. He hangs up.
Emran just relays the conversation to the group.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Eli claims, he's been here all day and so on.
So I don't know Eli too well. I don't think what are they, the hedonists want to blow up?
Hedonaki.
Right, whatever. Fun name. I don't think they want to. Why would they want to foil any sort of treaty we could come to?
Money?
Sure, but do they benefit more from all parties fighting? I guess so.
He did say he wanted to get into a big fight.
This would produce the biggest fight.
Well, look, I mean, we can see with our eyes that his ship has not left.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that he didn't.
Sure.
But if I keep poking around here, I'm just trying to get the system to tell me where erstwhile Cataphract is right now. He appears to be on the ship. And, okay. Okay, he's a couple decks down, or at least he was last time he went through a checkpoint. So, we can maybe get down there, see if he's there, figure this out.
While we're on the way, would you know of any way to elude checkpoints?
I mean, I might know some ways to elude checkpoints.
I just mean, would he be able to?
As head of security, probably, yeah.
Well, let's hope it's just someone using his credentials.
Well, let's find out. Like I said, he's a solid guy. Never had an issue with him before.
I guess we mosey, if everyone wants to mosey.
Before we mosey, could I try to reach out to Jellyfish Junction?
Yeah, you can. You haven't quite figured out how to communicate with its mind on the level that you're used to yet. That's part of your long-term project. But you're certainly welcome to make an attempt at it. It'll be, I'd say, limited effect. And we're in a risky position just because of the timer on these bombs.
A risky limited. That's outside my comfort zone of risky standard, but I'll go for it.
Okay. That reminds me, I need to put a clock for the bombs up here.
Yay, it's a 4.
E4.
Okay. While you are taking the time to do this, you hear from Dangerous Midnight's scrib, "Erstwhile Cataphract. And you say he's a few decks down? All right, I'm on my way." As Bitter Awakening rushes ahead of you.
Jesus. God damn it.
No.
Tick that
Beat him
clock.
up.
Okay, and what are you trying to communicate with the ship about?
I think I'll just try to express that, that erstwhile Cataphract is trying to cause harm to the ship and the people on it, and that we need to find them as soon as possible.
Okay. You get a ping back, and the ping is it puts a map in your brain, and the map in your brain is uncomfortable. It blanks out your regular sight for a few seconds, but on that map, which is all you can see during this time, you see that there is a dot that shows erstwhile Cataphract passing through a security checkpoint, the same one that you were informed of. But this is a second backup confirmation of that, at least.
Okay.
So you all mosey on down there. You get into one of the lift shafts, which is, you go in and it just carries you down through. It's one of those ones where it's just like air, pressurized air. It's like you're in a pneumatic tube. Brings you down. You get squelched out onto the deck. That's the appropriate one. This deck is not as set up for human comfort as the deck that you've been on. It's much more damp. The smell in the air is oppressive. It's an alien smell that has a mixture of vegetable decay and mildew to it.
Would you say it's a smelly smell that smells smelly?
It's not necessarily unpleasant, but it is a thick smell, and the air is damp and a little harder to breathe. The lighting is different as well. It's a lighting that ripples as if you were underwater, but you are not.
It's so humid.
And you make your way through. The walls and the floor are softer here, more fleshy than chitinous as they were above. Not chitinous, shell-like, rather.
Shells is just water chitin.
Yeah, so you make your way to the security checkpoint in question. It's one of those portal doors like the ones that you've seen before that irises open with a squelching noise. And on the other side of it, you see a cod-like Centauran who is in something like a full-body cybernetic suit. So you can basically see the head of a cod in the body of like a Terminator-like robot exoskeleton that has 4 arms, and there's some type of weaponry mounted on its back. And yeah, that's what you see here on the other side of it. And next to this Centauran is a human woman with dark hair, pale skin, thick eyebrows that are very like on point, with a naturally scowly face, we might say. She's wearing power armor. Her helmet is currently disengaged. It's the same power armor that you saw the bounty hunters wearing aboard El Coco. This picture matches Calvisario.
Do they know we're here?
Yeah, I mean, a big door just opened behind them.
Cool.
They are turning towards you in surprise.
I would like to initiate beef.
Okay. What form does this beef initiation take?
Jesus.
I would like to bring back that acid-spitting beetle form and just huck a loogie right at their faces.
Okay.
Seriously? You're not going to web them up? Sorry. No, that's Maeve's. That's your decision. Sorry.
Okay. It sounds like you're doing an attack of some sort on them.
Yes.
So what action do you want this to be? Or what action do you think this should be?
I mean, it's just straight up beef, so I'm thinking scrap.
Okay. You're in a risky position here, and I think you're spitting up acid at 1 or 2 people.
1.
Who are you aiming for here?
I mean, people get like mad at me when my attacks are lethal, so maybe I'll try to aim for the weaponry attached to erstwhile Cataphract's battlesuit.
Okay. I went to Google COD because I just wanted to get a better mental image of what a COD's head looks like. And I Googled COD, and it was just all Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had forgotten.
It's the body of Soap McTavish.
Yeah. So I had to Google COD fish.
It's just fish and Call of Duty. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, golly, I didn't know that there was a fishing mini game.
COD are pretty big, eh?
Cod are actually really big, yeah.
I did not know they were that big. There's a person here holding one, and the fish is as big as him.
Ooh.
Hot.
Nature is scary.
Should put that on Tinder.
Sorry, Trudy, were you saying something?
No, I'm just looking at pictures of cod heads right now.
Okay.
That's not weird.
Glad we're all on the same page.
Stop making it weird.
Good. I think the face that the COD gives you is this exact face that I'm going to link you an image of.
Oh boy.
If you Google cod fish and you go to images, it is, let's see, where did it go? Oh no, I've lost it. Nope. It's in the first row all the way on the right from the article Codfish Have Regional Accents from ABC News.
Get out of here.
The more you know.
It's just a bit of a side eye, like surprised but disdainful almost look on this cod's
Surprised?
face.
Oh, is it like the old like dramatic look gopher?
Yeah. I'm just going to try and get this image for you. Here we
Super
go.
excited, Matt.
I really like this cod's face.
We're taking a sidebar to do this.
I'm trembling with anticipation. I don't see it when I search for codfish.
Oh no.
Oh, that is
No, there it
quite
is.
side eye.
Oh, I see him.
Oh,
Oh.
hello.
That's the face that faces you. I think he's even got that same scar that this codfish has under his eye.
Yar, I'm a codfish.
They're giving me that look I give people I went to school with 6 years ago when I run out into them out in the big wide world.
Hmm.
So he's about to open his mouth as you attack here. Go ahead. What was it you were saying there?
Who?
Okay, for me, I was going to say, I bet he's really oily too, because cod,
Cod liver oil.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's a slimy fish. I know what you did. Tried to blow up your people.
Sorry, Trudy, were you saying something or did I?
No, you were not hearing me. I was muted drinking my Slurpee. So
All right. Hopefully not cod flavored.
Don't knock it till you try it, Art.
So he's turned towards you and is opening his mouth to say something with this annoyed look on his face. And you see Call is also turning towards you, reaching her hand up towards the side of her head, presumably to activate her helmet. She's holding one of those same assault rifles that you saw aboard El Coco. And you make your scrap roll, Maeve.
Is this risky standard?
Risky standard.
Apparently, there's a Mr. Codfish and head knobs and broomsticks, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, number 5.
Rolled yourself a 5 there. Okay, so consequences.
Our actions have them.
And you were aiming to disable his exoskeleton here, you said, with the acid?
Yeah, I was aiming for whatever the big guns he's got attached to it. I don't know if that acid splashes and hits some other stuff. That'd be pretty tubular.
Okay, I think your acid gums up the gun that he is bringing over his shoulder to point at you, and it gets into the cannon's barrel, and the gun it doesn't look like it's firing, so it doesn't like explode on him, but it definitely gums up the works of that whatever cannon he's pulling over his shoulder there. As a consequence here, Bitter Awakening arrives, and
That's fun.
he comes in from the opposite direction, further down the hallway, and he is just like ululating battle cry, like ah, ah, crashes into
My
Call
God.
and erstwhile Cataphract, all ribbons and blades slashing, and Call screams. She's trying to get her helmet to close, but like several of Bitter Awakening's ribbons are already clawing at the helmet, and like there's a cut on her face. And erstwhile Cataphract is suddenly fighting on 2 fronts. Like, what the? So things have gotten chaotic here as a consequence of that 5 roll.
I take back some of the mean things I've said about Bitter Awakening. Not all of them, but some of them.
We all love our unpredictable fishman. So yeah, they're all tangled together in this combat. Call is screaming. Erstwhile Cataphract is trying to say something, and Bitter Awakening is tangled up with all of them with all of his ribbons. You can hear from further down the hallway Mandukai shouting something as well. Clearly, she has not had a whole lot of luck keeping up with Bitter Awakening on his home territory. So what's going on here now?
I'm trying to think. So I think Keva is going to try to use hair to pick up Call and erstwhile Cataphract. Like, pick them up in the air, separated, rolled up in hair so they can't do anything. A very tangled sort of esque situation here.
We're going to have a Rapunzel battle.
Mm-hmm. But basically,
Okay.
it's just like, she's just like, sorry, I was trying to gesture with 2 hands, but I need 1 hand to hold the talk button. But anyway, so she's kind of like just picking them up with her hair and lifting them up so that now it's like everyone else can't get to them, but like they're incapacitated, basically just like,
Okay. You will have to extricate them from Bitter Awakening's ribbons and fins as well as you do this. So I think that's going to be a complicated kind of roll. What sort of action do you think this is?
It might be a scramble or a scrap.
I think scrap makes sense.
Okay.
Because you're getting into the middle of a melee here, of a brawl that's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Bitter Awakening has all of these ribbons and such going on as well, I think it's going to be risky with limited effect to make this attempt as it is to start with.
Yeah, if I can get 1 extricated, that would be good, but still.
Don't forget, you can get help. You have 3 gambits left, 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to add a gambit.
Of course, there's always devil's bargains that you can ask for in these situations.
We
Okay,
don't do
what?
those.
You don't need to ask for a devil's bargain. You've got gambits and such, but I'm just
But you could.
Okay.
reminder to the table in general. That is a mechanic in this game.
Okay, well, I got a 4 again. So,
Okay.
so I'm guessing I only got 1 of them. Or maybe I got all 3 of them.
I'm just trying to decide how hard I want this consequence to be.
Super dense.
Because I have a pretty hard one in mind, but I don't know if it's quite what I want to go for right now.
Keva is instantly decapitated by Bitter Awakening.
Not that kind of one.
I was thinking her hair was going to get cut.
To me, like in my mind, this looks kind of... Have you watched any Macross shows?
I haven't.
No.
Okay.
I have.
Oh, good. There's this thing called the Itano Circus. Let me see if I can Google or pull it up on YouTube or if there's a GIF of it or something. So it was a type of particular animation moment, a type of scene pioneered by Ichiro Itano, a Japanese animator on originally on Macross. I guess he's like 60 or 61 or something now. Anyway, so it's when they fire off like 1,000 missiles.
Oh.
So I don't know if you've seen that. It's been copied and echoed in many other things since. But the Etano Circus is a tradition started in Macross where they just fire off 1,000 missiles with their smoke trails, and they're all spiraling all over the place, and then whatever pilot is trying to like juke in between them. So it feels like, to me, it's like there are two competing Etano circuses going, except those smoke trails are solid, as your silver hair is rushing in trying to grapple these two out, and Bitter Awakening's red ribbons are also trying to grapple, and they're like, everything's getting tangled together. And I think what happens here is that your hair and Bitter Awakening's ribbons all get tangled up in a big ball together with these two kind of stuck in the middle. So you can see their heads, and one or two limbs poking out at uncomfortable angles. And then you and Bitter Awakening are just stuck together. And Bitter Awakening is in their sort of berserker rage mode at the moment, clearly. So they're just yanking backwards, attempting to disengage, not fully realizing perhaps that how tangled they are. Like, a dog, when a dog gets their head stuck in like a garbage can lid or something, and they just can't quite realize, I have to do this carefully. They just yank on it. So you're finding yourself being yanked forward over and over again as Bitter Awakening thrashes. And I think that gives you the level 1 harm sprain.
Okay, I think I'm going to try to resist that. Oh, wait. How's my stress right now?
Not great.
So chilled out. We're so chilled out right now.
Yeah,
was there an opportunity to relieve some stress on the flight over?
Yeah, you know what? Though I might just take the harm.
Okay. Sure, you can do that too.
Okay,
so level
sprain.
1 harm sprain.
I imagine that Keva is like trying to brace against something, and then she like wrenches her ankle a little bit, or her wrist.
Okay. Yeah, you can put sprained ankle there, and then that means you'll take less effect on actions that require you to use your ankle. Okay, but I think at this point, you reach a bit of an equilibrium at this point between you and Bitter Awakening once he gradually starts to calm down. And I think Mandukai finally arrives behind him and just grabs his central fish body in a bear hug. And he eventually is struggling, but Mandukai is much stronger than him. And he eventually subsides. She's panicked. She's, sorry, I couldn't keep up with him. He's got so many legs.
He's got a lot of legs.
Keva just sort of looks at this, the mother of all hair tangles, and it's just sort of like her mouth is open, just sort of like,
It's the opposite of a braid.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We need to question them, she says, changing tracks completely.
Bitter Awakening is grumbling and mumbling, and he says, the only question I want to ask them is, how quickly do they want to die?
Word.
I get it, but we need to like ask them where the bombs are, and then they can die.
Whoa.
Metal.
Mandukai quirks a brow at you. Kevin's like, what? That's new.
Kevin, not you.
No.
Everyone else, though.
All of a second, Kevin was like, you think that this doesn't rub off after all these years?
He settles down and he starts attempting to disentangle his ribbons, but he can't. And you hear muffled grunts and shouts of pain from both Call and erstwhile Cataphract, because Bitter Awakening's ribbons are all very sharp. So they're all covered in like little cuts from where his ribbons are. And I think your hair has been in some ways preventing them from getting sliced up even worse, acting as a buffer between them and the blades of Bitter Awakening's ribbons. Mandukai puts Bitter Awakening down, and because all of his limbs are currently entangled, he just is kind of sitting down on his fishy bum on the squishy floor here. She goes over to the Gordian knot there and is just like, do you think we can maybe get their mouths out at least?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm really going to have to wash my hair later because it's going to like smell like fish and human and not in good ways.
Mandukai nods. She looks over at Zora. Now, I've been reading some mythology in the library, and this looks like something we might call a Gordian knot, and there is a solution to that I think you might be uniquely capable of handling here.
What would Zora know about Gordian knots? Because I am totally unfamiliar with them.
I think a Gordian knot is probably something that's reflected. There's some story like it in the audits and the accounts. A Gordian knot is an impossible knot. For our listeners who don't know, the story of the Gordian knot is that there was this impossibly entangled knot that nobody could figure out how to unpick. And Alexander the Great's solution to the problem was to cut it open.
Was that the right solution?
Well, it worked.
Is that the knowledge that Zora has? Just cut it?
I think that's probably the lesson Zora would have taken from that story for sure.
Don't cut my hair, Keva says, realizing what is being talked about here.
Can we disentangle later? Not that it's not important.
And Dekai shrugs. I thought we wanted to question them.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a good position to start questions.
Also, like, take the cutting my hair off the table.
And Dekai's, it grows back, doesn't it?
But
Look, we'll worry about this later. I'm just, bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Call, can we have a conversation?
I
Mm-hmm. What about you, Cataphrag? I see. Okay.
do I have to roll something to get Keva to retract the hair enough, or move it out of their faces?
You could do maybe a group action or something for disentangling it.
Yeah,
Or-
let's
Okay.
let's all work together to do an engineering with hair and
Engineering.
fish flesh. I love going to my old barbershop, but I don't like the guy who just rented a chair.
I mean, I do think Mandukai has a point here. We can't screw around forever trying to untangle stuff either. So, I mean, I'm totally down with giving it one shot, but if it looks like it's going to take longer, I'm sorry. We might just have to cut her hair.
Doesn't Keva's hair hurt? The silver hair hurt when it gets cut?
it doesn't hurt, but you can feel things happening to it. Like your fingernails. It doesn't hurt, but you know when something's happening to it.
Yeah, it's more attached.
Yeah. So you can try to disentangle it. What action do you think this would be?
I had a terrible thought that if we were going to cut it, that's hacking it.
I have no hack.
I know. It's more.
No.
It's a pun.
It's a pun.
Doctor?
Jinx.
Maybe.
You can make an argument for doctor for sure.
Can I make an argument for rig?
I mean, Keva's hair is a techno-organic construct made of nanites, and Bitter Awakening, some of those things are cybernetic. So, I mean, rig is fixing and building and breaking stuff. It could be that too. What do we want it to be?
I want it to be scrap, but rig is okay.
I mean, if we can just
Me too.
pull enough to free their mouths.
I just start killing all four of them.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Cameron takes out his blaster that he's always had.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, maybe you took guns from the bounty hunters. I don't know. You'd have to declare that if you do.
I did.
I don't know how to use those. I don't know anything about those.
What bunny?
Doctor or rig, I think either one would work at standard effects here.
What if I declared detangle spray?
Does it work on robots?
There's some gear that might help. I wonder if there's some gear that might help, I should say.
I have illicit drugs.
Maybe it's some type of illicit lubricant.
That always helps.
I forgot that I had written down Scooby snacks on Keva's character sheet as something to declare.
Why?
This was way back when Maeve started eating people.
All right, who's taking point on attempting to disentangle this hair? I say we go with rig here.
I cannot.
I shouldn't, but I can.
Who wants to oversee the process? It doesn't have to be the person who's best at the action, just who's going to go in there and guide the rest of you.
Got the least
I
stress.
think it's probably Keva. I have 4 stress at this point, but I feel like Keva is going to oversee people trying to detangle her hair.
Okay. How many of you are helping with the detangling process?
Emre.
Do I need a point in
No.
rig to help? Okay, I'll just help.
Okay.
I have no points in rig.
Okay.
When I work on a clock with rig or hack, I get +1 segment.
You can also just try and do this solo or with someone aiding you.
I think I can probably do it with a gambit.
Okay.
Okay, then how about you do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
It was just like,
You can do it, I believe.
Emran just like pats your back, is like, it's gonna be okay, and then just reaches into the mess of blades and nanites.
All right. Risky standard.
A6.
A6. Okay.
I'm getting like actually like.
You were able to, by reaching your hand in there, find like a pressure point, a point where the center of this knot is, and give it the gentlest of tugs, and everything unravels. And I think Bitter Awakening bounces back a bit. Keva maybe falls back a bit, tripping backwards.
Emran catches it. Kev.
Someone will have to catch Keva, but Emran, you're several meters away unless you're going to turn and dash back.
Emran is so
Hinata
fast.
style.
I don't
I can
know if
catch
you
her.
knew this, but I'm super fast.
Well, Maeve's there. I guess you just said you can catch her. Okay. So you untangle her. Maeve catches Keva before she can fall down. Bitter Awakening has no one to catch him and just bounces like a bouncy ball. And many of his
Fish boy.
retract around him back into a more condensed cloud of waving, furious fronds of fury. He says, all right, fine. We'll ask some questions. We got to do it quickly. There's bombs.
You still got any fight left in you?
Bitter Awakening, is that who you're asking?
No, the other two. I know Bitter Awakening has some vinegar in his
You
throat. I know.
really need to ask him that ever.
I think Call puts her hands up. Her gun is ruined at this point. It's been sliced up and crushed alternately by the blades, the ribbon blades, and Keva's hair. And she just holds her hands up. And erstwhile Cataphracts, his hands are twitching, but with his cannon gummed up and his exosuit heavily damaged by that compressing experience, he looks down and he says, please, you must help me.
Going on.
He has my family.
Who's he?
He's twitching. You can see looking over his shoulder as if he's expecting someone to be watching him. And Call is staring at him like with hard eyes.
Is there a Mr. Bedinia?
She turns her look at you and her eyes draw down and she says, has nothing to do with the Bedenias.
Okay, just a name I heard. What's the deal?
Erstwhile Cataphracts, he turns and catches Call's eye for a minute and she's still staring at him with those hard eyes, but he shakes his head and says, I can't do this alone. I cannot be a party to this anymore. One of my former comrades approached me shortly after you arrived. He has my family and threatened them, saying he would kill them if I did not cooperate. There is a plot. There are bombs planted throughout the fleet, including here on the ship.
We heard about that part.
He looks surprised. Oh, well,
We're
Really?
working
Already?
on that now. Yeah, Call, we trashed El Coco. We have all of your men.
Call looks skeptical.
Like all of them.
That's not possible. They're professionals,
Yeah, and they tried to blow up your ship as soon as we showed up.
as they should.
I know the hair tangle is like kind of a bad move, but we're really good at taking care of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I spoke to somebody who thought that they were in charge. No eyebrows, really pale.
She narrows her eyes again and muttering something. Still have a job.
Yeah, well,
I don't care about your job.
job's over as far as I'm concerned. We're gonna find those bombs, and listen, you escape, you stay here, it's over for you.
I think we might need to try a roll on her here. She is a real hard ass. You can see her fingers are twitching as if she's getting ready to do something.
I just imagined that camera pans around to her back and you see that her butt is in fact made of steel. Cubed.
Buns of steel, as they call it.
My God. I have never seen a perfectly square ass before.
No, SpongeBob.
No, I know. Yeah,
But
'cause
his
everyone
buns are
watched
steel.
SpongeBob.
Where he is a sponge.
Or
That's
he's
the one piece of media the Church of Gov allowed to exist. The Mulder.
Season 396 of SpongeBob. Emran will attempt to pierce the heart of even the most black-hearted scoundrel.
Okay.
Is it possible for other people to assist in this
Absolutely.
at all?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's do
So-
it. Let's have a group sway.
Yeah, Zora will just pull out the sword.
You can
Oh.
take a stress to assist in that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, true.
then I'll take a stress.
You want to burn a gambit, or are we doing a group thing?
I could try to sway with just a gambit and with Zora's help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we could give it to Babe if you want.
If you want to let me try a command, I guess.
I don't know if that's gonna stop it. I don't know if that's gonna work for her.
Could you not? Yeah, because I don't have any sway.
Yeah, I'll try to sway.
I think command would be limited effects, whereas sway would be standard here.
And I have potency with like talking to people instead of fighting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, good to try. I guess you'll be risky with great effects.
Something just occurred to me.
Feel free to share.
It dawns on Keva, now recovering from this all.
Oh no.
It's just a 4. 4 is a success.
Yeah, I guess so.
That could have been 3 1s. Give me
It's
something.
not like last session when we were rolling 6s like left and right.
We're coming back around. Listen, it makes sense. She's got buns of steel.
Yeah.
Emran's new to this talking people down thing.
Trudy, when you've rolled 3 1s in a row, a 4 is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
True.
I have rolled 4 1s.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tick up the bombs go off clock by 1.
I
As
have
this,
blown up the sun by accident.
You did do that, yeah.
She blew up the sun, Trudy.
As this tense standoff takes more of your time. I'm ticking that up by 1 as a consequence for the 4 there. But she puts her hands back down again, and she just sits down on the floor, like crisscross applesauce, and puts her hands behind her neck, and she says, I hope you've got some binders or something, so at least it looks like I put up a fight.
Oh yeah, and if you want, we could, makeup, bruises.
She shakes her head. I have a reputation to protect.
Yeah, we're gonna make you look like a hard ass. Don't worry.
A reputation of exploding hundreds of ships?
We get a job, we do the job.
So if someone asked you to commit genocide, you would do it?
She's doing it.
I mean, they'd have to pay a lot. That's a big job.
Keva's got like a horrified look on her face, like, what did you do to weapon table?
She frowns. Weapon table?
The green guy.
There's no green guy.
On our ship?
There isn't anybody on your ship except that little robot guy, and he was asleep.
Ah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, we still have problems.
My theory is correct. Or sort of.
I don't think so anymore.
Mandukai is binding Call's hands behind her neck with some binders that she's got. Don't ask why. They look more decorative than anything else.
Right, okay.
A girl.
Revel of Velico!
Bulk discounts they get over there. So she...
In the desert?
Oh, by bulk discount, I mean they steal a lot of it.
There we
all
go.
At once.
The 5-finger discount.
Indeed.
All right, so Erstwhile Cataphract is he's very subdued, and he says, I can help you, but I need you to try and find my family before they are killed.
We can do that. Yes.
Of course.
We will. What is the name of the other Centauran, I presume?
His name is Gallantly Outcast.
Oh.
He is another security officer from this ship. He's been an exemplary officer up until yesterday.
Is Midnight here?
Dangerous Midnight is not here with you. Z is back in the hangar bay.
Emran calls Dangerous Midnight.
Oh, hey, what's up, Emran?
Okay.
Registered some, fracas going on down around where you are. Everything all right?
Okay. Cataphract was pressed into this against his will. We have Calvasario apprehended. Gallantly Outcast has Cataphract's family and is threatening to kill them and was part of this whole bomb conspiracy.
Oh, come on. Gallantly Outcast? What is going on this ship?
But again,
they're muttering.
Cataphract had nothing to do with this. It was completely against his will.
Well, I mean, be that as it may, he did do it.
For sure.
So
that did happen.
we'll have to deal with that. But, so they took his family.
Yes.
I was wondering why they weren't around. Said they were on vacation. Not any vacation I'd ever want to be on. Okay, well, we'll start looking into this. I will see if we can figure out where Gallantly Outcast is hiding.
Keva just stops and is like, I've never been on vacation.
Huh.
And none of us have been on vacation.
After we blow up the sun.
Okay. I've heard beaches are nice.
We do have beaches now.
There have always been beaches around the Salt Lakes.
We have safer beaches.
Yeah.
Well, until Godzilla shows up.
So some security details arrive, Centauran ones, and they are a little confused at first to be taking their boss into custody, but they do it. They've got their orders from higher up the chain. And Erstwhile goes willingly with them, but he makes eye contact with each of you as he goes, and he says, "Make this worthwhile."
We will.
You have my word.
Will do. Keva stops.
And he is led away, along with Call.
Can we get pictures of his family so we know what they look like?
Yeah, I mean, you get pictures. It's just more codfish.
But one of them's a pretty lady cod with big red hair.
And the little bow and the hair.
No.
Real sexy cod, yeah.
Just a real feminized cod.
Eyelashes, lips.
This is a cartoon
lipstick.
now.
No, it's just cod. Some of the cod are much smaller, and they're just like in a terrarium on legs. They don't have their own cybernetics yet, and so
That's
lots of pictures.
freaking
God.
adorable.
Yeah, it's so cute.
We just take the multifold out of his wallet and we're like, oh.
This is very long. And this one's when we.
Yeah. Emma just assumes that there's a family of 80 cod, not putting it together. These are pictures of the same 3 people.
I mean, wouldn't they have a lot of kids, aka also known as spawn?
But they are fit aliens.
They're all in the aquarium there.
Oh, okay. So it's okay.
Wild. Huh.
There are lots of complicated things that go on with Centauran reproduction that we do not have time for right now.
I'm just thinking about how it actually works with fish.
Life finds a way. They come from amber.
Emran's going to college after this. Emran needs to know.
Yeah. Did I mention I'm eating tonight?
You get a ping, and they have a location on Gallantly Outcast. Gallantly Outcast, oddly enough, is down in a central deck of the ship near where all of the engines are.
Okay.
We might have an idea where the bombs are now.
Yeah, but I'm going to need a piggyback ride because my ankle is sprained.
Emran picks you up in one hand. It's just fireman's carry the whole time.
This isn't a piggyback ride like I requested.
Yeah, let's do a group action to get down there as quickly as possible, because I want to see how swiftly you're able to move as the timers tick down on the bombs, and the family of erstwhile Cataphract is in peril.
Zora, can you lead this? Because
Who's a good scrambler?
Zora's the toughest, I hope.
Probably.
I do have a tick and scramble, so that bodes better.
I have many scramble.
Have the 2 scramble.
Okay. We're in risky standard, so just everybody rolls scramble at risky standard, and we see what the best success is, and if anybody fails or gets below 4. So there's a 3, for example.
Another 3.
Another 3. Okay, good so far.
We're back,
okay,
boys.
Good. And it's okay.
Oh.
Back to our roots.
Oh boy.
Trudy, that's 3 stress for you.
Unfortunately, Zora, you do take 3 stress.
You guys are stressing me out.
I imagine that part of this is Keva is flailing because
She wanted to piggyback.
We're not used to taking orders or following a superior officer, so we're just real bad at keeping lockstep.
Yeah. I think maybe Zora is expecting a certain level of efficiency and teamwork. That is just not.
No. I'm trying to transform mid-run. I'm ditching my acid sack and getting those clownfish. Not clownfish, the clown shrimp punching things.
Every time Zora's like, quickly, let's take this corridor. It's faster. And Maeve's like, I'm going to go the other way. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. I talk to the ship. I know it better than you do.
Emran just bursts through several layers of membrane.
Keva ah!
It's a mess. When you finally get down there, covered in...
The bombs have exploded and we're in space.
We're not just a mess. We're a hot mess.
Various types of goo and such, and char and everything else. I am going to advance this clock by 1 there. So we're at 2 out of 6 on bombs go off.
No thanks.
But you have made it. Panting and in disarray, but you are outside of the engine room, and you see that the large sphincter of the door is open, and inside of it there is a Centauran in a bulky security style cyber suit, again studded with weaponry, and they have these 2 large pods on the shoulders of this armor, on the back of the shoulders of this armor. It looks almost like a 50s style retro-futuristic jetpack. So these oval style pods that are right on the back there. But they don't appear to have open bottoms, so it's probably not jet engines. Anyway, they have some weaponry built into the frame. And Yeah, that's who is there. Their back is to you. This is the only person in the engine room at the moment. And he seems to be doing something at one of those organic consoles that line the walls of important spaces here on Jellyfish Junction. Littered around in this room are several people who appear to be dead. Centaurans and humans
Oh.
lying in pools of blood. They are in awkward positions, some limbs bent in ways they should not be. One person is a top half and then a bottom half, and the part where the middle should be is completely just gone. It is super gross.
Yeah, Keva like is now like looking at us like and turns her head around and like buries it into Emran's shoulder for a second. It's like, Emran, don't look at this area here. Don't.
Emran gently sets you down.
I would like
And
to once again initiate beef.
puts on his mask.
Zora takes out her sword for sure.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
At the sound of you drawing your sword, this person turns around, the Centauran, and you can see in the middle of the armor is the head of a swordfish sticking out. But the head is just kind of lolling in the middle of the armor. And you get a closer look at the eyes. They appear to be glazed over. And there's something leaking out of this swordfish mouth. But this Centauran turns to face you. And you hear a voice coming not from the fish's mouth, but from some speaker somewhere on its armor. And it says, "Well, hello, Sunbreakers. I've been itching to meet you."
Why do you sound so sultry?
Wouldn't you like to know?
The bad egg.
What the heck? Keva says.
Did you body jack this fish, man?
He spreads his arms in a bit of a shrug. There are 4 of those arms. The top 2 do the shrug. The bottom 2 are crossed over the mid-section. One of them reaches up briefly to readjust the, at this point, clearly dead fish's head. Well, that's a mighty crude way of putting it for such a delicate technological operation. But yes, indeed, I have supplanted this one with my own mind. Emerson KV at your service.